You were never meant to run through deserts chasing coins that vanish in the wind. You were never meant to trade your soul's peace for paper promises. You were never meant to strive, to strain, to grind your spirit against the machinery of the world, because wealth was never outside you. It was never out there. It was beneath you, within you, waiting for your stillness. Picture this. A lone traveler runs through endless sand, chasing golden coins that glitter just ahead, but every time they reach, the wind shifts. The prize moves, the thirst deepens, they fall to their knees, exhausted, and beneath that ground lies a well, not a mirage, a real, living spring of provision. But they were too busy chasing to dig. This is the illusion we've been sold, that money comes by pursuit, that success comes by force, that our value is measured by hustle. But there is a deeper law, a spiritual law, and it lives quietly behind the noise. You do not chase divine supply. You align with it. Let that settle. Let it undo something in you. Wealth is not a reward. It is a reflection, a mirror of your inner alignment, of your thoughts, your speech, your faith, your surrender. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the law of non-resistance. What you resist persists. What you chase escapes. But what you receive in faith arrives without struggle. So we begin here, not with action, but with awareness, not with hustle, but with harmony. You are not a beggar before the gates of fortune. You are a co-creator in the house of abundance. And the moment you stop running, the moment you turn inward, the moment you say, I no longer chase, I align with my divine provision, the well beneath you opens, the flow begins. This is the divine disruption, the sacred breaking of a lie, that your worth is based on what you do, instead of who you are. Let's reframe the inner dialogue. Must earn more. Becomes I receive what is already mine by divine right. I'm falling behind. Becomes I walk in perfect timing, guided by invisible law. Money doesn't come easily to me. Becomes money flows to me because I am in harmony with the source. You are not late. You are not lacking. You are simply being invited to realign. Now breathe. Let go of the striving. Let go of the chase. Close your eyes. Imagine standing still in that desert. Feel the ground soften. And now, see the water rise. Abundance doesn't roar in. It rises quietly when you remember who you are. A brief prayer. Divine Spirit, unhook me from the need to chase. Unbind me from the lie of lack. Let me rest in my right to receive. Let me walk in the flow of what is already mine. I trust the law. I trust the supply. I trust the rhythm of divine wealth. This is not passive. This is power. The power to stop grasping and start receiving. The ones who understand this, the 1% who walk in quiet abundance, they are not always the loudest in the room, but they are the most aligned with the invisible current of wealth. And now you begin that path. Not with force, but with alignment. Not with panic, but with peace. This is your shift. From chasing to calling in. From fighting to flowing. From desert dust to divine river. And as this sacred truth settles in your bones, you are now ready to enter the first law, the first portal of real prosperity, the law of identity. Because you cannot receive what you don't believe you are worthy of. Let's go there now. There is no chaos in divine mind. Only order. Only perfect alignment. Only the unseen architecture that holds the universe together. What looks like disorder in your bank account is often disorder in your belief. What feels like confusion in your finances is often a signal that the soul is out of rhythm with the law. There is no luck. No coincidence. Not in the language of spirit. Because everything in the divine mind is blueprint, pattern, and principle. Are not walking through life at random. You are walking through a construction site of your own consciousness. Now imagine this. Before you were born, a divine architect unrolled a sacred blueprint with your name on it. Every line drawn with love, every path marked with purpose, every provision planned in silence before your first breath. It was never empty, never vague, never delayed. But to walk in that provision, you must walk in the law that governs it. This is the law of divine order. It says that nothing is missing, only misaligned. It says that the house of wealth is already built, but you must enter it by alignment, not accident. Florence Scovel Shinn said, there is no loss in divine mind. What belongs to you by right of consciousness cannot be stolen. It cannot be ruined. It cannot be missed unless you resist the order that brings it. Let's pause. Let's step inside now. Close your eyes and see yourself standing before a golden temple. Over the arch is written in pure light, divine order. As you step in, you feel the silence shift. You feel something ancient awaken. The columns are made of certainty, the floor is paved with purpose, the ceilings stretch beyond logic. This is not fantasy. This is the inner temple of wealth. It has always been here, waiting for you to come back home, because when your inner world honors divine order, your outer world mirrors it. When your thoughts are scattered, your money will be, too. When your beliefs are rooted in fear, your finances tremble at every turn. When your words contradict your worth, the blueprint pauses. But when you say, I trust the structure of spirit, you begin to rebuild. Let's reframe the inner conversation. I don't know where my next payment will come from. Becomes every need has already been met in divine mind. I align now with its release. My finances are a mess. Becomes my life is coming into perfect order. Divine intelligence is organizing all things for my good. Everything is out of control. Becomes I release control. I rest in the eternal structure of my supply. Now breathe. Feel the shift. Order is not just outer organization. It is inner certainty. So what do you do when things fall apart? When the bills are due, when fear presses its hand against your chest, when confusion fogs your next step, you pause, you realign. You return to the architect. You say, I surrender my panic. I receive divine instruction. I choose faith in the unseen structure over fear of the visible moment. Because the law never left, only your awareness of it. Let's anchor this with a simple practice. Visualization practice. Every morning, see yourself walking into the temple of divine order. Sit in its silence. Lay your concerns before the altar. Ask the architect to show you the next step. Listen in stillness. Then act not in fear, but in obedience to the pattern you now trust. Affirm these words daily. I walk in divine order. I do not strive. I do not fear. All things are being perfectly arranged for my highest good. There is no loss in divine mind. Therefore, there is no loss in my life. And now you are not just surviving, you are building, not with bricks, but with belief, not with force, but with faith. You are no longer a visitor in chaos. You are a resident in divine alignment. Let this truth take root. Let the blueprint rise within you. Let your life begin to mirror the invisible perfection that has always held your name. You are not broken. You are being reordered. You are not lost. You are being led. There is a sacred clock ticking within the unseen, not man-made, not mechanical, but eternal, and it keeps perfect time. You do not set it. You do not wind it. You align with it. This is the divine clock. It does not rush. It does not stall, but it always strikes on time. You may be waiting for the breakthrough, for the money, the relationship, the opportunity, and it feels late. It feels overdue. It feels like silence. But heaven does not hurry. Heaven prepares. Florence Scovel Shinn said, Infinite Spirit is never too late. Not once has the divine missed its cue off. So why do we panic in the pause? Why do we run ahead of the orchestra instead of waiting for our cue to join the symphony? Because the world taught you to equate delay with denial, to believe that if it hasn't come yet, it must not be coming at all. But that is not divine law. That is fear in disguise. Look at the flower. You do not pull on its stem to make it bloom faster. You water it. You place it in light. You wait, because you know there is a timing to all beauty, a season for every unfolding, and no force of will can override the wisdom of the bloom. So breathe, rest, let your soul remember. What is yours is already moving toward you, not by hustle, not by pressure, but by spiritual appointment. You are not behind. You are being positioned. That the law of divine timing says, everything comes when you are ready to receive it. Not a moment sooner, and never a moment too late. But readiness is not about doing more. It's about becoming aligned. That you do not chase the sunrise. You position yourself to witness it. Can you feel that shift? The movement from urgency to surrender, from force to faith. That's where the sacred pause begins. That's where your power is restored. Not in controlling the outcome, but in preparing your inner space with quiet reverence. Right now, there may be something you're waiting for, and it hurts, it aches, it makes you question your worth or your timing, or your path. But I promise you this, delay is not denial. Silence is not absence. Stillness is not stagnation. Sometimes the greatest things are being assembled behind the curtain, in silence, in shadows, in sacred order. There's a divine intelligence, weaving your life strand by strand with threads you cannot yet see. So ask yourself, am I waiting in fear, or preparing in faith, because waiting is not passive, it is preparation in motion. It is spiritual alignment that meets the appointed hour. Let's try this. Close your eyes. Picture yourself at the edge of a hill before sunrise. The sky is still dark, the air is cool, and there is nothing you can do to speed the light. But you trust, you know that in its perfect rhythm the sun will rise. And when it does, it changes everything. This is how your blessings come. Not forced, but faithful, not hurried, but holy. Here's your affirmation today. What is mine comes at the appointed hour. I wait in trust, not tension. Let that become your new rhythm. Let it soothe the urgency in your chest. Let it rewrite your inner dialogue. When the mind says, it's taking too long, answer with sacred truth. I am being prepared for something worthy of my soul. When the heart aches for resolution, breathe. Return to trust. Because divine timing is not about delay. It is about alignment. It is about divine choreography that arranges people, places, and moments into a perfect unveiling. You do not want anything early, you want it. Blessed whole right, your soul came here to grow into the blessing, not just to receive it but to embody it. And that takes time, sacred time, tonight. Instead of asking, when will it happen? Try asking, how can I become more aligned with what I've already been promised? Let the waiting refine you, let the pause prepare you, let the stillness reveal you, because your moment is written on the divine clock and nothing can erase it. In the next section, we will dive into the core of your identity, because timing brings it to you but identity holds it in place, and until you believe you are worthy of the wealth will remain just beyond reach. So, now that we've surrendered to time, it's time to remember who you truly are and the inner laws that govern your receiving. Let's continue and unlock the law of identity. Ask ChatGPT. There is a sacred river flowing through your life. It moves with divine rhythm, not with force, but with grace. Not through struggle, but surrender. And yet, how often have you tried to swim upstream? How often have you clenched your fists against what already is? We are taught to fight, to resist, to battle our way into breakthroughs, but resistance only tightens the knot. It closes the gate. It blocks the flow. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, I do not resist. I bless and rise above. This is the law of non-resistance, a divine law that doesn't make you weak. It makes you aligned. To resist is to say, I do not trust the path beneath my feet. But to release is to rise. The universe is not moved by struggle. It responds to surrender. Not the giving up of power, but the giving up of friction. The surrender of the lower self to the higher current. You cannot enter the palace while clinging to the prison door. You cannot step into divine flow while dragging the anchor of resentment, blame, or fear. Picture this. You are standing in a river, the water rushing around you, but your hands grip heavy stones, stones of anger, stones of control, stones of, why did this happen? You want to float, but you are weighed down by what you won't let go. Now imagine you let the stones fall, one by one. You unclench your jaw, you breathe, and the current begins to carry you. This is not weakness, this is spiritual strength. Let go of the belief that you must fix what is not yours. Let go of the fantasy that life must look a certain way. Let go of the fight against timing, people, outcomes, because your resistance is not protection. It is a wall between you and the miracle. Wealth does not flow through clenched fists. It flows through open hands. Today I ask you, what are you still resisting? Who are you still at war with in your heart? Is it a parent who didn't see you? A partner who betrayed you? A season that ended too soon? Write it down. Let the ink become your witness. Journal. This, who or what am I still resisting that blocks my flow? Don't hide from the answer. Freedom lives in that truth now. We cut the cords, not with anger, but with grace. Close your eyes. See the heavy ropes tied to your ankles, regrets, unforgiveness, old versions of yourself. Visualize a golden light surrounding you, soft, warm, divine, divine. You reach down and cut the cords with the sword of sacred release. You are lighter now. You are free. Say this forgiveness prayer aloud or in your heart. I forgive everyone from my past and present. I release every tie of pain and judgment. I am no longer bound by old stories. I bless what was. I receive what is, and I rise into what shall be. Feel the weight lift. Not because they deserved forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. You do not need to win every battle. You need to walk away from the battlefield. Some things are not worth carrying. Some things are meant to teach then dissolve. You are not here to struggle your way to prosperity. You are here to open, to bless, to align. Say this with me. I do not resist. I bless and rise above. Let it be your inner compass. Let it guide your reactions, your self-talk, your choices. This is not about pretending things don't hurt. It's about not letting pain define your next chapter. When you stop resisting, you stop blocking. When you release, you create space. Space for peace, for provision, for divine flow to re-enter and carry you into places you could never force your way into. So now, we step into a new posture, not of control, but of cooperation with divine law. Because what is meant for you is upstream of your resistance, downstream of your release. Let it go, so it can command as we move forward. We step into something even deeper, because once you've released the resistance, you must embody what remains. You must awaken to your true identity, your inner royalty, the version of you that was never blocked, only buried. Next, we uncover the power of identity, and how believing differently will birth wealth differently. You've released, now prepare to rise. There is a temple within you, not made of stone or steel, but thought. Each word you speak to yourself rings like a bell in that sacred hall. What is the music playing there? Is it harmony or dissonance? Faith or fear? Because you cannot hold both in the same breath. You cannot say, I am abundant, while secretly whispering, I don't know how I'll make it. The mind is not a warehouse. It is an altar, and whatever you place upon it becomes your prayer. This is the law of substitution, one of the most divine tools given to the human spirit. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that you must cast out fear by consciously choosing a higher thought. Every time. This is not spiritual pretending, it is spiritual precision. Because the mind left untrained will default to lack, to fear, to echoes of voices that were never yours to begin with. But the awakened soul says, I choose again. You cannot remove darkness. By studying it, you remove it, by turning on the light. You do not escape mental poverty by wrestling with it, you escape by replacing it with wealth-conscious thoughts. So let us begin a sacred clearing. Take a breath and listen to the thoughts you've allowed to roam free. What if I fail? Replace it with, I am backed by divine success. What if money runs out? Speak instead, my supply is infinite. I live under grace. I don't know enough. Say now, I am guided by infinite intelligence. I never have enough. Time. Reframe. Time bends in favor of divine purpose. I always mess it up. Affirm, I am aligned with perfect execution and divine flow. This is the practice of spiritual sovereignty. You do not entertain fear and faith as equal guests. Only one can live in your house, so you change the music. In the temple of your mind you walk in and remove the song of scarcity, the drumbeat of self-doubt, the whispers of shame, and you replace them with sacred sound. Declare this now. I instantly substitute fear with faith. I hold no space for contradiction, because contradiction is a leak, a slow drain on your manifestation power. You must become undivided, one with your word, one with your intention, one with the divine truth you claim. Here is your exercise. Take 5 thoughts that do not serve you, 5 lies you've rehearsed for too long. Write them down. Do not judge, just witness. Then beside each one, write the truth, not a motivational quote, but divine reality. Let it sound like this. Lack thought. Money is hard to come by. Divine truth. Money flows easily through the channels God opens for me. Lack thought. I'm always behind. Divine truth. I am in divine time. I am never late for my own destiny. Lack thought. Nothing ever works for me. Divine truth. All things work together for my highest good. Lack thought. I don't deserve wealth. Divine truth. I am worthy of all good. My inheritance is spiritual gold. Lack thought. No one sees me. Divine truth. I am seen, valued, and supported by the divine and the world. Now read the truths aloud. Let them echo. Let them fill the room. Let them fill the silence where fear used to speak. Your mind is not broken. It is just waiting for you to lead. This is how you rise. This is how you train. This is how you rewrite the script of your inner world. You are not powerless to thought. You are the chooser, the editor, the high priest of your own mental temple. So when a thought enters, ask it, do you serve my future, or sabotage it? Do you come from God, or from fear disguised as logic? Because from this moment on, you hold the authority, you hold the pen, you hold the gate. Say this with me now. I do not rent space to lack. I evict fear. I enthrone faith. And so it is. As we continue, we will awaken something deeper still, because once your thoughts are true, You must embody the self who lives by that truth. Next, we step into identity. We will speak not just as you are, but as who you are always meant to be, a being of light, a carrier of divine wealth. Let the music of truth now carry you forward. The substitution is complete. The soul is ready to remember its name. You've spoken the words, you've written the affirmations, you've planted the seeds of intention, but the harvest only comes when your feeling matches your request. This is the law of vibration, the sacred truth that Florence Scovel Shinn whispered through her pages. Man must prepare for what he has asked for, and preparation is not about hustle. It's about harmony. You cannot attract wealth while vibrating in scarcity. You cannot embody abundance while secretly living in fear of not enough. Your frequency is your fortune. Your emotions are your invitation. The universe is not reacting to what you want. It is responding to what you are. So ask yourself, what are you vibrating right now? Not just what you say in public, but what you whisper when you're alone. What you feel in the silence. What you carry in the undercurrent of your energy. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you allow. By becoming the emotional match to it, close your eyes for a moment and come with me. Imagine standing barefoot in a radiant field of divine gold. The sky is not blue here. It is gilded with grace. Each breath you take fills your lungs with the frequency of ease, of elegance, of overflow. Can you feel it? The texture of wealth, not paper or coin, but the vibration of being completely supported, completely provided for, completely held. There's no need to force anything here. You are simply being, in the rhythm of receiving, that you walk in it, not with urgency, but with knowing. You touched the fabric of life, and it feels like velvet timing, like doors that open without you knocking, like light that wraps itself around your shoulders, because you no longer doubt your place in this divine abundance. Speak this with me now. I feel the texture of wealth. I walk in its rhythm. I breathe in the energy of overflow. You are not waiting for wealth. You are becoming its match. This is where transformation happens, not in your effort, but in your energy. So here is your sacred practice. Each morning, before the noise begins, before the world pulls at your attention, take just 5 minutes to feel abundance, not imagine. Feel. Place your hand on your heart and declare, I am wealthy now, not someday, not when, now. Then, let the feeling rise. See yourself moving through your day, with the poise of one who is backed by the universe, with the calm of someone whose needs are always met, with the gratitude of one who already has. Feel the clothes you wear, feel the room you enter, feel the way you carry your shoulders. As someone chosen for prosperity, you don't have to fake it, you have to claim it. Because wealth is not a destination, it is a vibration you enter. By remembering who you are, vessel for divine circulation, a magnet for spiritual gold, a temple for overflowing grace. If you struggle to feel it, start small. Feel the softness of your pillow. Feel the miracle of clean water. Feel the music that plays when no one is watching. Feel the breath that rises without effort. That is the energy of abundance. That is the frequency of provision. You are surrounded by wealth, not just in numbers, but in moments, in miracles, in movement. And when your soul aligns with that truth, physical wealth has no choice but to appear. Say this. My frequency is my fortune. I choose to feel rich now. I vibrate with divine abundance. Then, walk as if the gates have already opened. Sit at the table as if the feast is already served. Speak as one who already holds the keys. Because energetically you do. And let this be your knowing. You do not attract what you hope for. You attract what you believe you are. So be it. So feel it. So live it. As we move forward, let's ground this vibration into form. Because after the inner frequency comes the outer preparation. Let's step into aligned action. The kind that flows from truth, not fear. The kind that builds your wealth while keeping your soul intact. The next step will show you how to walk the path with clarity and build your divine containers for receiving. But for now, stay here for just a moment longer and feel it again. The rhythm, the breath, the glow of already having. This is not fantasy. This is frequency. And you are tuned to the highest station of abundance. So it is. Expectation is not a wish. It is a spiritual decree. It is the quiet contract your soul makes with the unseen. The law of expectation is not about hope. It is about knowing. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, Your word is your wand, but expectation is the hand that holds that wand steady. It's the unseen certainty behind every answered prayer. Let's make this plain. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you expect. You can say all the affirmations. You can visualize day and night, but if beneath your smile is the belief, this probably won't happen for me, then that becomes your order to the universe. Expectation is silent creation. It's the magnetic field that surrounds your words. It's the spiritual signature that stamps your request as real or not yet. Imagine opening a mailbox and knowing there is something inside for you. You don't second guess it. You don't question the timing. You walk with the posture of someone who knows it's already arrived. That is the energy of divine expectation. Now ask yourself truly, honestly, what am I expecting every day? Not what are you hoping for? Not what are you wishing could happen? What are you actually expecting? Do you expect to receive kindness? Or to be disappointed again? Do you expect opportunities to find you? Or do you walk guarded, bracing for another closed door? Your answer is your magnet. Your expectation is your prophecy. You can't fake this. Energy doesn't lie. Expectation lives deep in the folds of your nervous system. It shows up in how you rise in the morning, in how you carry your shoulders, in how you respond to delay, and in how you interpret silence. If the universe is echoing back your belief system, what vibrations are you really sending out? Here's the invitation. Replace vague hope with inner certainty. No more maybe. No more if it's meant to be. Shift into divine confidence. Say this out loud, with authority, with ownership, with spiritual power. I expect increase. I expect favor. I expect divine surplus. And feel that frequency settle into your bones. Let it rewire your posture. Let it lift your voice. Let it change how you walk into a room. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. The universe does not reward doubt disguised as humility. It responds to certainty wrapped in faith. When you expect miracles, you create the atmosphere where they occur. See this now. A great golden door stands before you. On it, a sign reads, "Already done." You reach for the handle, and the moment your hand touches the knob, it swings open, not because you forced it, but because you expected it to open. This is the law of expectation. It is the unspoken vibration that goes ahead of you, clearing the path, opening the gate, summoning the provision. You must start expecting better. Not someday, not in a vague way, but clearly, viscerally, boldly. Expect the text that changes your life. Expect the door to open when it once stayed shut. Expect the money to arrive from unseen streams. Expect the call, the yes, the breakthrough. Life bends to the shape of your expectation. And expectation is a choice, so choose this frequency, not just today, but every day. Here is your sacred journal prompt. What am I truly expecting each day? Let your pen become honest. Let the truth pour out, even if it surprises you, because once you see it, you can shift it. And here is your morning ritual. Before you leave your bed, before the world reaches for you, declare it in the silence. I expect the best. I expect ease. I expect the miraculous. This is not Migbal. This is magnetic. Expectation shapes your encounters. It decides whether you shrink or rise, whether you brace for harm or prepare for grace. You are not just hoping things get better. You are expecting heaven to move for you, and it will, because when divine expectation becomes your default, the invisible becomes visible, the delay becomes direction, and the mailbox is always full. So let's move forward, because what you expect is already forming, and your next step is to become the container ready to hold it. The vision, the wealth, the opportunity, all of it. It's waiting for the soul, who doesn't hope it's real but knows it is, and so it is. There is a sacred rhythm to wealth, a current that moves, like breath, give, receive, release, return. The law of return is divine confirmation that you are never empty. When you give with a full heart, you signal to the universe, I trust the source, and in response, the source moves not with subtraction, but with multiplication. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, I give perfect love and receive it multiplied. She knew what most forget, that circulation is the signature of abundance. When you hold tightly, energy contracts, but when you circulate, energy expands. Look around. Every tree gives fruit and is replenished. Every wave gives water and is renewed. It is only the stagnant pool that rots, but the flowing river stays fresh. You were not meant to hoard your gifts. You were meant to move them. Money, love, words, time, when given from the soul, they return with divine interest. You say you want more, but have you proven you can let it move? Have you released what you have with joy and trust? Or are your hands closed, guarding lack? Here's the sacred shift. Giving is not loss, it is confirmation. It confirms to God, to the law, to your own subconscious, that you already have more than enough. And what you confirm, you multiply. Speak this aloud, with full presence. I give with joy, and receive without resistance. Let that be your inner rhythm, not from pressure, not from fear, but from holy overflow. This is the energy of the open vessel, not the fearful beggar, but the divine distributor. You are not here to hold on. You are here to let it flow through. You like light. Give your smile today, and watch love return. Give your time, and see how favor finds you. Give your money with intention, and see how it circles back in unexpected checks, in sudden forgiveness, in spiritual downloads that open doors no man can shut. Here is your divine challenge. Every day for the next 7 days, give something intentionally, a blessing, a gift, a compliment, a meal, and speak over it. This returns to me multiplied in perfect form. Let your life become the flowing stream. Let it confirm to the law that you are open, available, worthy, because you are. Circulation is not about losing. It is about trusting that what leaves you returns stronger, wider, richer. So open the gate, let the current in, let the current out, and watch how heaven returns what you gave, pressed down, shaken, together, running over. Let's keep flowing forward, because what you give today is only the seed of what will rise for you tomorrow, and so it is. There is no harvest without rhythm, no sunrise without pattern, no prosperity without law. The universe does not respond to emotion, it responds to order, to rhythm, to law that is lived. You cannot plant truth one day and uproot it the next with fear and expect fruit to bloom. You cannot declare wealth in the morning, doubt it by noon, and curse your lack by midnight, then wonder why the soil bears confusion. This is the story of most. They water their seed with fire and call it faith. They want miracles without momentum, breakthrough without behavior. They beg for flow, but refuse the rhythm. But you, soul listening now, are being called into a higher law, one that Florence Scovel Shinn lived and taught. She wrote, faith must become a habit. This is the law of rhythm. Not just knowing, but doing. Not just hoping, but harmonizing. You must live wealth in your words, in your walk, in your rhythm, because the law does not bend to panic, it bends to pattern. A tuning fork will not sound unless struck, but strike it consistently, and it vibrates in perfect harmony with the source. You are the tuning fork. Your rhythm is the strike. Your thoughts, your words, your declarations must become instruments of divine order. If wealth is what you seek, then wealth identity must become your rhythm. Let your mornings begin with spiritual alignment. Before you touch the phone, before you check the world, touch the word, speak to your substance, command your field, say aloud, I obey law in rhythm. My wealth is inevitable, not once, not twice, daily. Declare at sunrise, I walk in divine provision. All that I need comes to me now. At midday, I do not chase wealth, I attract it because I carry it. At nightfall, I rest in the rhythm of divine law. I release fear and confirm my fortune. Let these declarations become breath. Let them beat like the drum behind every action. Because repetition rewires, not only the mind, but the field. Every word spoken in rhythm reshapes your subconscious blueprint. Florence said, change your thoughts, and you change your destiny. But thoughts must be trained, over time, with rhythm. Not random bursts of inspiration, but sustained, spiritual cadence. What if you stopped stopping? What if you stopped uprooting your good by questioning its arrival? What if you trusted the process like the earth trusts the sun? Consistent, certain, silent in faith. That is the posture of the prosperous. They no longer beg the law to work. They become it, they live it, they repeat it until it's no longer practice, it is presence. Today, become predictable in your power. Let your energy be steady. Let your declarations be unfailing. Let your wealth identity take root through rhythm. Here is your sacred practice. 3 times a day, speak your wealth into the field. Do not wait until you feel rich. Speak it until your body forgets how to feel poor. Do not wait for evidence. created with rhythm. The same way water smooths stone, not by force, but by returning. Returning. The soul does not need new ideas. It needs new patterns. So live the law. Live it like breath. Live it like you've already won. Because when rhythm replaces randomness, the universe responds with order. Your wealth becomes inevitable not because you demanded it, but because you aligned. Now breathe, speak, return to the rhythm. The next law is already waiting for you, and it will meet you in the momentum you've just begun. And so it is. There comes a moment on every spiritual path when you stop reaching, you stop chasing, you stop asking, and you remember, you were never empty, you were never lacking, you were simply misidentified. You thought you were the seeker, the one in need, the one waiting for life to begin. But now you awaken. Now you return to truth. You are not the beggar at the gate. You are the gate itself. You are not searching for supply. You are the living stream. You are not becoming wealth. You are wealth in form. This is the sacred shift, the holy transformation, from delay to dominion, from hoping to knowing. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every man is a golden link in the chain of divine supply, but too many forget they are the chain itself. You are not a broken piece. You are the current, the source, the law, made visible. You no longer need to beg the universe to notice you. You are one with the universe, one with the law, one with divine order. So now, speak to yourself as the one who carries, not the one who craves. Look into the mirror, right now. Look into your own eyes as if you are standing before the gates of heaven, because you are, and the key is your own identity. Say to your reflection, I am no longer waiting for wealth to come. I am the space where wealth lives. I am the breath of provision, the voice of divine law, the manifestation of substance itself. Let your shoulders rise. Let your posture change. Let your voice deepen in sacred authority. You are not a receiver of scraps. You are the storehouse, the distributor, the divine vessel. Feel the shift, not in theory. In vibration. Can you sense it? The silent gate of destiny opening within you, the veil lifting, the old self dissolving. You are no longer trying to manifest. You are manifest. You are no longer whispering for crumbs. You are commanding the table. This is the power of the integrated self, the one who knows, not intellectually, but cellularly. Every part of your being is now aligned with the truth. You are not separate from the supply. You are the supply. Let your words reflect that. Let your actions mirror that. Let your vibration sing it into the field. Speak this divine affirmation aloud, with full reverence. I am wealth in form. I am one with the law. Feel how it changes the atmosphere. Feel how it reshapes your mind. Feel how it calls every atom in your world into divine order. This is no longer a concept. It is embodiment. You are no longer wishing for power. You are the proof that power lives. You are not a student of the law. You are the law expressing. You are the living decree. You do not need permission. You do not need to earn it. You do not need to wait. Heaven responds to those who remember. And you have remembered. You are the source now. So ask yourself this sacred question. In the quiet of your soul, write it with sincerity. What does my life look like fully aligned with divine wealth? Let that question become your compass. Let the answer rise from your deepest knowing. Does your voice change when you speak? Do your relationships elevate? Does your environment expand? Because identity is not what you describe. It is what you embody. And your new identity is not built on effort. It is built on spiritual certainty. Every law you have learned, every truth you have spoken, every fear you have released, has led you here. To this moment of sacred embodiment. You are not separate from the abundance you seek. You are its expression. You are the fountain. So walk now, speak now, live now, as the one who knows, as the one who gives, as the one who gives, because you are the source now. And so it is. There is a moment in every journey when the soul stops asking for signs, stops testing the wind, stops measuring the soil, and simply plants the flag. Today is that moment. You've walked through divine law. You've shed the veil of limitation. You've remembered what the world made you forget. Now it is time to rise into covenant. Not a promise made in panic. Not a vow made from fear, but a sacred contract. Stamped not in ink but in vibration. A soul signature that echoes across your field. This is the covenant of obedience. Not obedience to man, but to divine order. to spiritual law, to the rhythm of truth that already lives within you. Florence Scovel Shinn taught. Obedience to spiritual law brings harmony, and harmony is the home of wealth. This covenant is your return to right standing, to soul integrity, to the vibration of unwavering wealth. You are not here to experiment anymore. You are here to embody, to enact, to obey. Because obedience to divine law is not slavery, it is sovereignty, it is power mastered, it is alignment secured. You don't chase wealth when you obey wealth law. You become wealth through rhythm, through right use of your word, through reverence, through discipline made sacred. So now I ask, will you seal it? Will you activate your covenant not just with intention, but with declaration? Because words don't just describe, they assign, they authorize, they open gates. Speak this aloud now, not with hesitation, but with holy fire. I align, I declare, I receive. Say it again, letting every syllable root in your field. I align, I declare, I receive. You have walked the 7 laws, the law of command, the law of substitution, the law of vibration, the law of rhythm, the law of identity, the law of image, and now, the law of obedience. Speak this truth as the final seal. I walk in all 7 laws of wealth. I do not stray, I do not wait, I do not resist. I walk, I trust, I receive. Let it be so now, not someday, not when the outer world confirms it, but now. This is your contract, and contracts must be kept, not in fear, but in fire. So for 7 days, rise into obedience. Don't merely revisit what you've heard, live it. Let it take shape in how you wake, how you speak, how you give, how you expect. For 7 sacred days, speak only what you want to build. For 7 sacred days, align with the vibration of wealth in every thought. For 7 sacred days, treat yourself as already chosen, already endowed, already enough. Make your mouth a temple. Make your habits holy. Make your rhythm reverent, because the covenant is not only what you say once, it's what you return to again and again, until it becomes your nature. So now, close your eyes, see it, golden doors before you, high majestic, silent in their waiting, and now, they open, not because you knocked, but because you aligned, light floods through, not a flicker, a flood so bright it erases your past story, so full it dissolves every doubt. This is your reward, not for striving, but for surrendering to divine law. The wealth you seek is already yours, because you now obey what governs its release. Final truth, final word, let it be branded in your mind. The 1% don't chase wealth, they obey law. So now do you, and so it is.